Well, what a difference a week makes. Lobo basketball looked like a much different team this past week, but yet they come up short again in Las Vegas, matching up against Utah State. The final score last night, 75-70. The season is over for the Lobos, who clawed back, gave fans just enough, just a little bit of hope this week in Las Vegas, but yet again not able to overcome Utah State when they get to the Thomas and Mack Center. What it do? Welcome in, opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. We do have a full crew this morning. Jeff Siembieda is ready to go. Reaction from Las Vegas. Just got a few technical things we're working on here in the opening segment to get him on, hear what he has to say from being in attendance. We have sound from post-game last night as well. Paul Weir, Corey Manigault, and Vance Jackson, which we'll hear throughout the morning, and of course your reaction to the Lobo season as a whole, which we've talked a lot about, different ways to dissect it, what you saw differently this last week, and really where this team was. Because last night, the way the game started, it was a bad start for the Lobos. Sam Merrill came out firing. At one point in time, Utah State had a 22-7 lead in that first half with 12:20 left. And then the Lobos closed the half 24-13 to tie the game up at 33. And that was a team 2 weeks ago. They played an opening 5-6 minutes like that. They trail by double digits at halftime. So we did see a different team going back to Saturday night when they beat Utah State, going into Las Vegas to make it a game, to take the second half lead. And then the final 7 minutes, the what-ifs continued for the Lobos. It was Sam Merrill in foul trouble, as was Neemias Queta. They go on a run. They get an 11-point lead, and then it shrinks. The final minutes, shots made by Utah State, and then answered. Vance Jackson, Zane Martin themselves coming back, hitting some clutch shots, but coming up short as Merrill starts and finishes the game fantastically for Utah State, and he had Bean Brito step up and fill the void for the Aggies while Merrill was in foul trouble. And there's a lot of people wondering how, why, attack, get that fifth foul. But they played those final 7 minutes in foul trouble and were able to close the game out. 18 second half points for Sam Merrill, who led the way and was just phenomenal in the clutch moments. But he had help, and the Lobos come up just short of an emotional Paul Weir, as were the players last night. Whether you saw the post game, you're going to hear from them today on the opening drive, or especially the Twitter and the emotions right at the end when it's over and knowing you're not playing another game this season. And then the Vontae Hendricks situation where he was sent home, and then he sent out a tweet wondering, well, I don't even know why I was sitting home at this point in time. So just an added layer to a week that was better for Lobo basketball, but you're wondering why did it take until this point for this team to really come together and take a step forward through all the mess that they went through this season. You can get involved with the show, 246-0610, 1-888-922-0610 is the Quan's Auto Care hotline. Of course, send your emails, jeff@610candamel.com, jj@610candamel.com, and find me on the Twitter as well. It is _JJBuck. And catch us on ProView Network, Facebook page, facebook.com/TheODNAAM, Twitter and YouTube as well. Of course, Comcast Channel 26. So a lot of basketball to discuss this morning. Mexico State finished the WAC regular season undefeated with their victory over Cal Baptist last night, becoming just the third team in WAC history. Now, work to do because you got to go win it in Vegas, but they're going to be big-time favorites when they get to the Orleans to get the automatic bid for the WAC. But job well done for New Mexico State to finish off an undefeated season, because despite everything you want to say about the WAC, yeah, it's not good, but they haven't gotten undefeated before in the WAC.
Jeff on the line.
And we'll get to that as well. Good morning. Calling in. There we go. He said, "What's up, Jeff?"
Does that work better? Does it work better that way? I've been listening to the show over on the. For some reason, you guys can't hear me. I can hear you, but sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. Good to go. Just technical difficulties. What's up?
Well, you kind of said it right, and this is the total what it could have been morning, right? Because then Wyoming goes and wins as an 11th seed, and I was over at I'm staying in the same place the team's staying, and you're looking around, and once that settled in, and you realize, oh my goodness, we could 11 seed who we match up really well against, with a chance to get to the championship game. Had an 11-point lead with 9.5 minutes to go, and what could have been. This was what a bizarre game, JJ. What a bizarre post game. You've been in a million of those post games before. The emotions. Head coach was up there in tears. It was bizarre, man. It was a bizarre game, and one that they probably should have won. I mean, is it fair to sit here and say, I think Utah State's better than them, but they probably should have won, don't you think?
Yeah, with the lead that they built in the second half, with Merrill and Queta in the foul trouble they were in, the final 7 minutes where the Lobos played better than they have at times, it wasn't good enough against a better team in that moment. But it was also one that this team, they play that opening first few minutes just even 2 weeks ago. They're down by double digits at halftime. They probably lose this game by 20 or more points. But yet they come back, tied at halftime, take a lead in the second half, just not enough down the stretch. And I think that was really that raw emotion you saw from Paul Weir saying, I just wasn't good enough. I could not do what was needed to get the stops in those critical moments. And that's where you really saw him break down postgame.
Well, I think, first of all, Merrill was special. He was playing with 4 fouls. Lobos had everything going for them, right? You're at halftime. Queta's got 3 points and 3 fouls. Then Merrill gets into foul trouble. He sits for that big, long stretch. And Craig Smith put him back in when they called that timeout outside of the 8-minute media timeout. And then Merrill comes in and misses 2 free throws. He never misses 2 free throws, right? Everything went the Lobos' way as far as game plan, except for being able to shut down Merrill. I thought everything changed on the flagrant foul thing, and I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I've seen a lot of basketball, JJ. I still don't really understand the flagrant foul. I thought, and I was sitting literally right behind Dan Dickow and Rich Walsh, the CBS TV guys, and I was watching the replays, but I couldn't hear them. I thought that they were looking at a flagrant on Namus Queta, not on Vance Jackson. And I don't know what you thought and what watching all the replays, but I thought that's where it turned. And I thought that was just a bizarre call to me.
Yeah, that was another moment. It was a big thing last year. I think that might have been the first, because they called it a hook and hold. So that might have been the first hook and hold that I've actually noticed this year. It was called in that moment.
I don't recall one. Yeah. I don't recall one at all. And I thought everything changed right there. And then here's the other thing. And you'll hear me talk to Paul about it. Lobos shot 14 of 14 from the free throw line on Wednesday. What was the first game? Wednesday afternoon. Yesterday, they missed 9 free throws. They missed in the first segment of the second half. They had not, like Jaquan went to the free throw line with an opportunity to take the lead right out of the break. He left 9 points at the free throw line, and in a essentially one possession game to go shoot 62.5%. That's one where you just sit there and scratch your head. There's a lot of things to look at. If they would have had this, if they would have had that. Bottom line is they had enough for the better part of last night to win. And I'm with you on the comeback. When we heard that Vontae wasn't here anymore, and you kind of heard some of the things that went on the night before, and I heard that Jaquan had left the locker room after the game. He was unhappy. I don't know what he's unhappy about. I mean, they won a game, and they get down by, 13-5. They were down 11 points, I think. I said to the guy sitting next to me, I said, this could get out of hand, right? It really had the opportunity for them to just pack this thing in, and it didn't. And I thought they played really, really hard. It was 20-7. It was 13-5. It was 22-9. And then come back and you look up and they got an 11-point lead. Second half. I thought they were going to win. I really thought they were going to win the game.
Yeah, and like you said, the ultimate what if now, as we break down the game, look at the season, is I believe that they would have then gone out and beat Wyoming by double digits. I
totally agree with that.
What would have happened with this little basketball team after what we saw transpire with Wyoming knocking off Nevada in the late game?
Total what if. I absolutely believe that too. And boy, Wyoming stunned me. They were a 10.5-point dog, and I left the arena a little early. Wyoming was up double digits. I thought they had this thing. Nevada was up double digits. I thought they had to put away. And my buddy in Reno sends me a text, fire Alford.
Yeah.
That's how fans are. All right, we got a lot to do today, and we'll fix this technical issue for you, and I'll sound better, but I'm here for you at the Thomas and Mack Center. You'll hear from Vance Jackson and Corey Manigault and Paul Weir, conversations that I had with all three of those guys after the season ended yesterday here in a quarterfinal loss to Utah State, the number 2 seed at the Mountain West Conference Tournament. We'll get into what the Aggies did. I heard you allude to it, 16-0. They are the first team in the history of the WAC to go 16-0. In the history of the WAC. Now, it hasn't always been a 16-game schedule, but JJ, you alluded to it yesterday. Only 3 teams run the table in the Western Athletic Conference, and they are now one of them. So we'll get all that. We're here for you at 505-246-0610. We're in Vegas because of 5 great conference tournament sponsors. I want to say thank you to Rudy Travis, attorney at law. Remember, Saul calls Rudy. Airport parking, you can park for less than half the price of Sunport parking. Hooters, your college hoop headquarters. American Home Furniture and Mattress, they guarantee you'll pay less. And 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK. Call attorney Clay Miller at 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK. It's the opening drive from Vegas and Albuquerque at 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The world-famous Laguna Burger is beautifully handcrafted. A burger that's created from certified Angus beef, sinfully cooked to juicy perfection, and garnished with New Mexico's Hatch green chili. Tempt your taste buds with mouth-watering fresh ingredients.
Cut! We're gonna need another Laguna Burger. Try the irresistible, world-famous Laguna Burger. Visit thelagunaburger.com. It's fresh with a kick. Take 32.
Lava Rock Brewing Company, conveniently located on Albuquerque's west side, just south of I-40. You can come on in, enjoy our pizza, pasta, burgers, and more by Matucci's. It's all at Lava Rock. Lava Rock Brewing Company, come on in.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
The LESCOMBES family has been growing and crafting wine in New Mexico since 1981. Formerly known as St. Clair Winery, we're going back to our roots and honoring our founders, Danielle and Hervé Lescombe. Today, our D.H. Lescombe Winery and Bistro locations continue to deliver the exceptional wine and food experience you've come to expect from the Lescombe family. Visit us and enjoy a culmination of our 6th-generation winemaking legacy and unique, perfectly paired foods. D.H. Lescombe Winery and Bistro.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
$75-70, Lobos lose in the Mountain West Conference tournament quarterfinals. The season is over for UNM. An 11-point lead late in the game. Vanishes behind Sam Merrill's 29 points, and Jeff Siembieda in Las Vegas, J.J. Buck back at Radio Ranch in beautiful Albuquerque, New Mexico. Sam Merrill was really good. Guy who was a Player of the Year last year. That's the Sam Merrill that won Player of the Year. That's the Sam Merrill that was the main reason that was the team that was the preseason conference favorite. And you had look. I look at the times, and I think Kurt Wegscheider is really good, and I know you like him a lot. You're asking a lot for a freshman to go out and try to shut down the reigning conference Player of the Year with this season on the line.
Yeah, and Sam Merrill hit shots over everybody. He hit him over Wegscheider. He hit him over McGee, whoever was on him down the stretch run. And he was a different player this game. He was aggressive from the start, and even getting the foul trouble for him to come back off the bench and still have that rhythm. It just shows how good of a player he is. But the Lobos, this is why somehow, some way, it's a good matchup for them. And listening to the team after their win on Saturday night saying, we like the way we match up. We like our athleticism, even though we don't have someone necessarily that can play Neemias Queta straight up all the time. We feel we can get in these guys, and you did see that once they came back. You called the Jaquan Lyle game. Well, he had a first half, and they needed it because he started hitting some shots from the outside, which got them back into the game. And unfortunately for the Lobos, even though they were able to take that lead in the second half, the guys that you need to hang your hat on, Vance Jackson, Jaquan Lyle, weren't able to find the closing plays like Utah State was.
Sam Merrill, 29 points, 10 of 15 shooting. He had 18 of his 29 in the second half. It was 5 of 5 from the field over the last 20 minutes of play. He's averaging over 19 points a game in the Mountain West Conference tournament in his career. He's gone over the 20-point mark 5 of those 9 games, the 29 last night. Tied his personal best in Mountain West Conference tournament play. Couple things, JJ, that made me think maybe every once in a while I have an idea. So I did say yesterday that if the Lobos were going to have a chance, Jaquan Lyle had to show up, right? He hasn't really had a big offensive game, although his coach says Jaquan's played well the last couple of weeks, but he hasn't been that scorer that they had early in the year. And I said if they were going to have a chance yesterday, I really believed that Jaquan was going to have a big game. He had 16 points in the first half, bound a stroke, and looked aggressive and looked confident offensively for the first time in a while. The other thing I said is I was on with Trujillo and Eric Strauss yesterday afternoon, and they said, how do you think it goes? And I said, I think the Lobos hang with them, And I think down the stretch, Utah State wins by 5 to 7 points, and that was kind of right in the number. I think that's what you said yesterday too, right? I mean, we both kind of saw the same kind of game, but you just didn't see it heartbreaking from the aspect where New Mexico had an 11-point lead late in the game and watched that thing go away.
Yeah, and there was still a lot of basketball left. It was over 9 minutes when they had that 11-point lead, but you're feeling good with Maryland Kidd in that foul trouble that they were living on that edge. And if they came back in, maybe they made some plays, but you're able to get that fifth foul, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah, and there was a point where you just kind of felt now New Mexico's holding on, trying to get to the finish line. And you looked out on the floor, Jaquan wasn't scoring in the second half, and she said, all right, where's it coming from? I thought Keith McGee hit some big shots. And I'm not sure what's going on with Keith McGee and with Paul. McGee had 7 points. Now, he shot 2 of 10 from the field, 2 of 7 from three-point land. But there was a point in the first half. I don't know what you were able to see on the television. And probably couldn't see it because Lobos were shooting at the basket away from their bench. But it just looks like every time McGee would take a shot, Paul Weir would be upset. And there was one time where he not the player, the coach, flailed his arms. McGee took a three-point shot out of the corner. How many times this year have we seen Keith McGee hit a three-point shot out of the corner? Quite a few, right?
Yeah.
In fact, some big ones. And it wasn't a bad shot. It was. Now I don't know if he was told don't shoot. I don't know. But he took an open three and he missed it. And in the second half, you saw him hit 2 big three-pointers. But it was the same shot he took out of the left corner. And Paul just flailed his arms and just like borderline tantrum. And it just seemed like he's in McGee's head, and I don't know what's going on there. My point is, you don't have a lot of offense out there. McQuatch had 22 points the night before. He had 2 points last night. Vance was scuffling with his shot. He was 4 of 15, had 11 points. You had 2 guys scoring. Man, if I can get a guy hot like that, I don't know why I'm upset that Keith McGee's taking shots.
Yeah, especially no one was hitting the jump shots last night, especially in the second half. And for them to still get that 11-point lead, just shows how hard they were playing against Utah State. And then from McQuatch Malawatch, there wasn't as much room in the paint as he was able to step up the night before. Only took 4 shots in this game, and that was the frustration down the stretch. Is Utah State knew they were playing through Sam Merrill, and then they got big shots from Brito in the clutch moments where the Lobos were kind of looking around. It looked like late, even with Van Jackson and Zane Martin, they both stepped up and hit game-tying shots. It looked like the Lobos were just trying not to make a mistake rather than make the play.
Yep, I think that's right. I felt that same way, that they were just trying to hold on and get to the finish line once they had that lead, and instead of continue to be aggressive. I also felt there were times, JJ, the ball stuck offensively, and the guy that I was sitting with, Utah State really moves the ball well, and they did. I thought the zone really frustrated the Lobos at times, and the ball just stuck. And when they were building the lead, they were aggressive. They did. And in fact, this is what's crazy about this New Mexico team. We bashed so much. Now, bash might not be right. Maybe it is for not playing defense. I thought they got that lead because of defense. I thought they played good, aggressive, full court defense, made some big plays, and forced turnovers. And Merrill said after the game, he says, well, for some whatever reason against New Mexico, we make stupid turnovers. I think New Mexico forced those turnovers, and they just got away from that. They just got away from it. The ball, I thought, got stagnant on the offensive side. And then I think all the breaks went to Utah State's way. There was a batted ball towards the end of a shot clock late in the game where Corey got his hands on the ball, and it ended up in somebody's hands going to the bucket. I don't remember who it was, but I just thought the breaks went the other way.
I think that was the bucket that put them up 5.
It was Brito. Yeah, it was Brito. Or was it the Bean bucket where they went up 75-70?
So there was like 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and it was 3-point game, and that pass that kind of like it looked like it goes through Corey Manigault and ends up being a layup.
Mm-hmm. I thought all of that was because I thought the McGee shot, when McGee hit the 3 out of the corner, and I started that one to go up by 11. I mean, that's when you're saying, you know what, this is going to happen. And then they didn't get much down the stretch. I'll give Jaquan credit. He had the drive, and I thought the Zane Martin floater over Cada in the lane, their last bucket to make it 70-70 was a huge bucket. But just not enough plays down the stretch, man. Not enough plays down the stretch. 505-246-0610. Want to hear from you today, Lobo fans. Season ends in the quarterfinals. We can talk about the season as a whole, too. How do you feel about the way the whole thing went? Obviously, probably pretty raw, wouldn't you say? Probably emotions. I was watching the Twitter. You probably have, obviously, a different Twitter feed than I. What was the response on Twitter when it was all done?
The response that I saw mostly was fans appreciating what this team has done the last week. Is that they finally saw a team that was grinding, that was putting in the effort, to beat Utah State, to have them on the ropes last night. There was more positivity after a loss than there has been in a long time with this Lobo basketball team, because I think fans just saw a different Lobo basketball team this week.
Yeah. All right, looking forward to hearing what you have to say. We've got sound for you that we'll play with Corey Manigault and with Vance Jackson and with Paul Weir that I spoke with those guys after the game last night, and so we'll play that for you as well. Hey, I know you see the vehicles around town that say IPS on them. International Protective Service. It's a security company I trust to watch my home, and I think you should as well. The police simply don't have enough officers to respond quickly to all the home break-ins or alarms that go off around town, and honestly, what good's an alarm? No one's going to respond. IPS is there within 7 minutes, maybe less. Hundreds of homeowners and business owners in Albuquerque and Santa Fe rely on IPS to protect their property. If you've got a trip coming up, IPS can patrol your home while you're away. They'll move your trash cans to the curb and back on garbage day, pick up your newspapers, your mail. Just give your home that lived-in look. Call them at 505-897-2420 or go to ipsglobal.com. Those vehicles you see in your neighborhood mean someone on your street refuses to be a victim of property crime. Don't wait until something bad happens to you. Let IPS secure what's important. Call them at 897-2420. That's 897-2420. Live from Las Vegas, Nevada, Thomas and Mack Center, where they will play semifinals tonight in the Mountain West Conference Tournament. San Diego State and Boise State, and it will be the 11-seed Wyoming Cowboys against the number 2 seed Utah State Aggies after Utah State beats New Mexico 75-70, and then Wyoming comes back late last night and stuns Nevada 74-71. Wyoming advanced to semifinals for the first time since 2015. They made history as the only 11 seed to win a tournament game 2 days ago. So obviously, if they're the only 11 seed to ever win, they're the only 11 seed to ever make it to the semifinals, and they're the lowest seed to ever to make it to the semifinals. The previous low was Colorado State, which got to the semifinals in 2004 as the 8th seed. Jeff Siembieda in Las Vegas, JJ Buck back in Albuquerque. Did you catch any of the Nevada game?
I did, and for the Wolfpack, the sluggish start, the comeback, due leading by 10 at halftime, and then Wyoming just never went away, just kept chipping. Jalen Harris then fouls out with only 17 points. He had a rough week overall for Nevada. And then Wyoming making plays down the stretch. It was the unexpected of this tournament that they're sitting there on a Friday night. But credit to Wyoming, man. They are a 2-win team in conference play, last place in the Mountain West, and somehow, some way, they're in the semifinals.
They got a freshman named Quane Marble. He's had a career high in scoring for the second night in a row. He had 20 points in the win over Colorado State in the opening round. Poured in 24 last night. A freshman. Watching the game, people go, "Who's this guy? He's really good." Yeah, he was pretty good last night. So it'll be, and this is the other part of the killer for Lobo fan, is the what could have been, right? Because I think you and I both agree Lobos probably would have beat Wyoming. I like their chances. Now, you would have thought Nevada would have also, but you wouldn't have had to go through Nevada as much as it would have been fun to play against Alfred Noodles again. It would have been Wyoming standing between New Mexico and a shot probably at San Diego State for conference championship and been the NCAA tournament if they held on to that 11-point lead.
Yep, and it's one where you look at it and say, well, if Wyoming beat these teams, you can't assume it, but you have that feeling. It's like the same way you feel Utah State's going to go out there and control this game and beat Wyoming handily tonight. But Wyoming just found a way against Colorado State and Nevada. This was the area that you looked at and said, oh, this is the side you want to be on. You just didn't think it was going to be that Wyoming team that made it this far.
Yep. All right, 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. And obviously we're having some technical issues. So, JJ, I mean, let me know, or just, whenever you want to go to the phones. Obviously, we've got lack of communication, so just hit it. Get you some emails. And this one, it came in towards the end of the show yesterday, and I didn't get to it. Mike said, Jeff, I like Utah State big tonight. I'll take them by 18 to 20 points. Okay. That didn't happen.
5.
Lobos played well. It was 5 points. Sid's a happy man today. He likes the way that it all came down. Actually, it's not Sid. It's Lobo Hobo. He says, what a perfect end to the season. Players fighting on and off the field, guys being sent home, and then tweeting that they don't know why. Mr. Rogers melting down after the game. That's probably the favorite of Brutus. The season couldn't have a better Hollywood-written ending. Obviously, someone who follows or enjoys the drama and enjoys the meltdown, and not a Lobo fan, I guess. I mean, Lobo Hobo, but not a Lobo fan. I don't know. If you enjoyed it, yeah, you enjoy drama. It was an interesting season. I don't know, JJ, I'd say it was an enjoyable one.
It was not an enjoyable season for anyone that wanted Lobos to win at a high level with everything that went on, dealing with stuff from start to finish, and even when this team was playing better and at least showing you something different this past week, they still had issues going on. Who knows what is at the core between Vontae Hendricks and Paul Weir, what occurred for Weir not to just bench Vontae but send him home from Las Vegas yesterday. And it's one where you look back at this season, I think Paul Weir has learned a whole heck of a lot about who he wants to be as a coach. The team going through everything that they had to deal with. It's, just watching this team last week, and I'm curious to see what you think about it, because we know there's drama. And everyone out there in the Twitter sphere and this community knows about it. Like, there's not a lot of secrets at this Lobo basketball team right now. But why now? Like, why this last week with everything that's gone on were they able to find something? Because like 2 weeks ago, this team loses that game 20, 25 points. But this week, they found something where at least they were able to do enough to compete.
So I got my thoughts on that. My feeling is I think Vance Jackson's more of a leader than he might get credit for. And I don't think he probably led through all this. I think there was a perception that it was Jaquan Lyle's team, right? Jaquan's the team captain, correct? And obviously Jaquan wasn't a great leader on this team. And there was whatever was going on. My gut, just being around it the last few days, and you know, I'm not as close as some. Was he took over? He and Corey Manigault, I just felt took over. You got guys who are committed. And when you heard Corey Manigault after the game and Vance Jackson say, you know, this is the best coach I ever played for, and totally going to bat for their coach, unsolicited. Like it made me think there was obviously there's a split on this team, right? Obviously, Paul can say that they get along, and they don't all get along, obviously. And I think there's a lot of me guys, and I think there's some of these other guys, and Jackson, Manigault, McQuatch, Malwatch, decided let's make the best of this. Let's win, and it's kind of what we talked to Hunter about on Monday. Was, you know what, those guys aren't coming back. Let's win for us. And then you threw in the Veg Scheiders, who I thought played really well, and some of the other guys that wanted to come along. I always thought Keith McGee brought you a lot of energy, and it just, I don't know, it made me feel, JJ, over the last week and a half, that you had a couple of guys say, you know what, this is going to end next week or the week after. Let's play basketball. We like playing basketball. Let's go out and freaking win for us. That was my feel.
Yeah, and it's the element of once you get here, knowing that there's not another game, there's not another practice, so you get the sense of kind of what can happen when you get to a conference tournament. But this started last Saturday for this team, and how they finished that game to take at least some confidence with them to Las Vegas. And this is going to be a year with everything that happened off the court, which trickled to the on-court performance, which goes throughout the entire locker room. That's going to be dissected and full of what-ifs for a very long time when you look back at what this team was supposed to be, how they started the season, and then what transpired second half of the year.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. When we get back, you want to hear the conversation with Vance Jackson?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, let's do that when we come back. We'll hear from Corey Manigault, Paul Weir as well. It's the opening drive from Las Vegas and from Albuquerque, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The world-famous Laguna Burger is beautifully handcrafted. A burger that's created from certified Angus beef, sinfully cooked to juicy perfection, and garnished with New Mexico's Hatch green chili. Tempt your taste buds with mouth-watering fresh ingredients.
Cut! We're gonna need another Laguna Burger. Try the irresistible world-famous Laguna Burger. Visit thelagunaburger.com. It's fresh with a kick. Take 32.
Lava Rock Brewing Company, conveniently located on Albuquerque's west side, just south of I-40. You can come on in, enjoy our pizza, pasta, burgers, and more by Matucci's. It's all at Lava Rock. Lava Rock Brewing Company, come on in.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rawlings, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
The LESCOMBES family has been growing and crafting wine in New Mexico since 1981. Formerly known as St. Clair Winery, we're going back to our roots and honoring our founders, Danielle and Hervé Lescombes. Today, our D.H. Lescombes Winery and Bistro locations continue to deliver the exceptional wine and food experience you've come to expect from the Lescombes family. Visit us and enjoy a culmination of our 6th-generation winemaking legacy and unique, perfectly paired foods. D.H. Lescombes Winery and Bistro.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Local Union 412. Find a career with benefits and not just a job at UA Local 412 Training Center. We are looking for plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC tech apprentices and journeymen. Call 50.
Well, what a difference a little technology makes, huh? How's that sound? Crystal clear, huh?
Sounding good.
Look at that. It's the opening drive live from Las Vegas, Nevada, and Albuquerque. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah's producing and working his backside off. Josh is just sitting there producing for you on the ProView because of course that works. You can watch us worldwide, ProViewNetworks.com. Listen to us on 95.9 FM. Sometimes AM 610, The Sports Animal. Sometimes, whichever way you want to go. Go back and forth. We're here for you. I want to say thank you to the 5 great conference tournament sponsors who make sure we are here bringing you the content that you will hear here in just seconds from the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas, the conference tournament. Airport parking, park for less than half the price of Sunport parking. 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK. Call attorney Clay Miller at 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK. American Home Furniture and Mattress, they guarantee you'll pay less. Rudy Chavez, attorney at law. Remember, Saul calls Rudy. And Hooters, your college hoop headquarters. Lobos' season ends last night, 75-70 here at the Thomas & Mack Center. Utah State beat them after coming back from an 11-point second-half deficit. They'll play Wyoming, the 11th seed, beat Nevada 74-71 in the first semifinal, and then the second semifinal will be actually the first one's San Diego State, right? I think San Diego State plays first against Boise State. Aggies were winners last night, 83-50. On senior night down in Las Cruces, rolling through Cal Baptist. 16-0 is New Mexico State. First team in the history of the WAC to go 16-0. JJ, this one's going to for a while, and I don't know if you've already listened to the sound I sent back, the conversations that we had after the game, but obviously emotional young men that I spoke to.
Yeah, very emotional from everyone post-game.
All right. First conversation you'll hear, this is Vance Jackson. I spoke with him right after they came off the podium last night here at the Thomas & Mack. Vance Jackson with us. You had a heck of a tournament again. Tough way for it to end, but it's always going to be a tough way for it to end if you're not hoisting a trophy at the end.
Yeah, this loss hurt. It's probably hurt the most out of all the losses I ever took for real. But it's basketball at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Tip my hat off to Utah State. You know what I'm saying? Sam Merrill, a tremendous player. He took over. You know what I'm saying? That's what good players do. We just came short.
Why did this one hurt more than any other?
It's just what we've been through as a team, you know what I'm saying? The bondage that we created, it just hurts the most.
A lot of momentum in the building. You take a lead. You're down 13 early. Come all the way back, fight through everything. A player goes home today. You fight all the way back. You're up by 9 in the second half. You guys looked like you were feeling it. Is there anything that happened, you think, that turned the tide?
I think I wouldn't say we just put our foot off the gas. You know what I'm saying? We was playing hard. You know what I'm saying? We was playing our hearts out. Utah State, their game plan when they was down 9, whatever coach drew up, they was just executing and just staying calm. And just got to tip my hat off to them.
They took a long time on that review. I thought that the flagrant was on Nemus Queta. Now, what happened there?
I just feel like the rest is rigged. Like I just feel like it wasn't normal. Like the calls, it was just. I know it's basketball. I don't really complain about calls and anything, but like it just seemed out of control to me.
Did they say anything to you about what happened?
I asked. He just said. Yeah, he said, you got a flagrant too.
That's crazy. All right, what's next for you? I know you got another season of eligibility. What's next for you?
I'm not sure yet. Following this L is hurt, so I can't even really just answer that right now.
That's fair. Sum up this season. It's crazy, huh? How do you sum it up, the way, all the ups and downs?
It was a good learning experience. Man, it's just hurt we lost. So, you know what I'm saying? We came up short. It's no good. We didn't win, so it's, you know what I'm saying? That's about it. I can't really say nothing for real.
Thanks, Vance.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Vance Jackson after the game. JJ, there was a lot in there to unpack. I mean, that's about, I think it was only 3 minutes, right? But there was a lot in there. He flat out said, I thought it was rigged. I think it's rigged. They want the 2 seed to advance and get another team in the NCAA tournament was the insinuation there. I've never heard him say that at all. Like I've never. That's a guy that I don't think I've ever heard complain about officiating. Have you?
I think that's just in the moment of frustration, just wondering why that was called now. They got tangled up. It happens, but that was a thing last year where they were really big on the hook and hold, and I think that's the first time I've seen it called at like any game this year that I've been watching. There might have been like that I recall a hook and hold called.
There was another long review in this game, and it also involved Vance Jackson. I don't know if you remember back in the first half, and it was Bean who elbowed him in the face. And the officials came over, and I was, again, right behind, so I was able to hear, when the officials come over to talk to the TV guys, I was right behind those guys, and so you could hear it, and they called it just a basketball move. That just as easily could have been called a flagrant one as the one that they called on Vance. And I think that frustrated him a little bit, too. We didn't really get into that. But you could hear the frustration. You could see it. And I saw Vance back at the hotel, too, and he was still in that demeanor. I really like him. I like his demeanor. I like the way he's fought through this whole thing, because I think there was a chance this could have been his team, and it obviously went a different way. When it was all said and done, kind of what I told you at the beginning of the year, Vance Jackson's going to have his moments. When people are saying, where's Vance? What's wrong with Vance? He's going to have his time. When he needs to step up, he's going to. Had to ask the question about what's next, right? Because I think it's not been whispers. Vance has another year of eligibility. He tested the NBA waters last year. The whispers, they're not whispers. The chatter coming out of that global team is he's not coming back. I would be really, really surprised if he does. And I don't know what you expected to hear from him, but do you expect him back after hearing that?
I think the percentage is really small. I think until he makes the final decision, that there's a slim chance he could come back. But you understand, a redshirt junior, put in 4 years where he's at, just degree-wise, if that matters to him, and then if he's just ready at this point in time to take that next step, whatever it may be.
I think his game translates to whatever this level is. I don't know if he's an NBA guy, at least an NBA guy yet, but I think he's got the skills where he gets in a system and he can develop. I think his length, his athleticism, I think he plays some defense. I think he can rebound. He did a hell of a job guarding Keita. It's insane, and you saw it last week at the Pit, and I watched it so much. Even Manigault looks small next to Neemias Queta, right? Keita is just such a large human being, and Vance Jackson, I thought, played pretty good defense against him, went right at him, and certainly has the offensive game that he can develop. I like his build. He looks like a pro to me. Do you disagree?
Yeah, he has all the traits you'd want to play basketball at the next level. Now, is it in the NBA, G League, overseas? That's to be determined, but he's
1 minute.
If he can show that he can handle things defensively when teams go small, there's a lot more of that going on at the next level, and it's a shooting. You space the floor, you can hold your own defensively, you're going to find a spot somewhere.
All right, we still have some more sound for you to hear post-game. You'll hear from Corey Manigault. You will hear from Paul Weir. We'll play the Paul Weir sound coming up in the 8 o'clock hour when we come back. 505-246-0610. Want to hear from you. I'm at the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas where the conference tournament is going on. Those guys are back in Albuquerque.
30.
The opening drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah, and Josh producing for you on Sweet Deal Friday on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Semifinals tonight here at the Thomas and Mack Center. Lobos will not be part of that after a 75-70 loss in the quarterfinals to the second seed Utah State here at the Thomas and Mack Center. Good morning. Merry Friday to you. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you over the ProView Network side, picking up. Are you guys still finding pictures of me on just Google Images and just throwing random pictures?
Google pictures, baby.
Using
Google.
the 2 favorite from the other day.
You have 2 favorites? Like, how many are there?
There was a bunch, but they're the most recent ones. It looks like you were filming a podcast of some sort.
Is that right?
Pointing at one with your, looks like you're doing a Bernie Sanders impression.
Was I mean, on ProView?
It might have been a screen grab from it.
Yeah, I have no idea. Well,
Check
they'll
it out.
even know. Oh, yeah, sure. I'll just Google image myself. Sure. I'll be getting all kinds of correspondence about the photos. All right. Well, I'm glad that I have a presence on your program today. It's nice. JJ, Aggies were winners last night in impressive fashion down on senior night, 83-50. And they put on a show down at the Pan Am Center to win their 16th in a row in WAC play, 19 overall, and run the table. First team in the history of that league. And I get what the league is now, but I know what the league was back in the day with New Mexico and BYU and Utah and TCU. And it's I don't care who you're playing. 16 in a row is 16 in a row. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, because if it was just because everyone else was that bad, why isn't anyone else doing it? And so that's
right.
You give credit to night in and night out, being able to beat those teams, not having a bad loss, having a bad night derail you, working through some of the situations they had injury-wise as well this season. And for New Mexico State, it's the edge that they brought. And they've played close games, and they've had some moments where you question, I don't know, this team is, where are they going to have the firepower? It's closer than expected. Well, last night they left no doubt, blowing Cal Baptist out the building. And Chris Jans now joins the list. It's Bill Self, Rick Majerus, Chris Jans, undefeated coaches in WAC regular season play.
Bill Self?
Pretty good list to be a part of.
Bill Self did it? Where was Bill Self? Was he at TCU? I thought it was Billy Tubbs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why.
I was like, no, that's all right. That's all right.
I was thinking Bill Self for.
Yeah, no, I'm like, did I miss a stop on his career? Yeah, it was Billy Tubbs, wasn't it? Yeah, Rick Majerus and now Chris Jans. Those are pretty good coaches. And do you remember the famous Billy Tubbs line when he was in Albuquerque? Was that before your time?
That was before.
All right, so everybody talks about the altitude in Albuquerque, and Billy Tubbs told the media, he says, "I don't know what the big deal is. I mean, it just doesn't matter. You play the games indoors anyway, so altitude doesn't matter." It's like, all right.
We're inside. What are y'all talking about?
Yeah. I mean, the air is fine inside. It's just outside where it's really thin. Oh, okay. I got you. All right, 246-0610, 8889-220-610 if you want to get in. Want your thoughts on the game last night and the season overall. Lobos were down by 13 in the first half. They were down 20-7. They were down 22-9. And then Jaquan Lyle went on a run, actually a really good run, and shot him right back into the game. And there they were sitting at halftime tied at 33 all. Jaquan had a chance with some free throws right out of the gate to go up. Lobos missed a lot of free throws. In that first segment, JJ, Lobos missed 4 free throws. They missed 9 overall, which a night after going 14 of 14 from the free throw line really makes a big difference. But Corey Manico played a terrific second half, and Lobos were up by 11 points. Keith McGee hit a three-pointer out of the corner, and it was 60-51, and you had that feeling. And then it went the other way, and Sam Merrill came back in off the bench after going out with his 4th foul and really made the difference down the stretch. And I thought Merrill, when they put him back in, they called a timeout with, what was it, 7:36 to go? They called the timeout. No, it was before that. 9:41 they called the timeout. And he came back in, and then Merrill was terrific after that. 505-246-0610. All right, do you want to hear the Paul Weir conversation?
I do.
All right, so you'll hear I asked a couple questions. Van Tate was in there, and so the other voice you'll hear, Van asked a couple of questions about Vontae Hendricks. So he'll address his feelings, the game, the season, He didn't really address Vontae, but he was asked about that as well. So here's a conversation I had right after the game with Lobo coach Paul Weir.
Well, there's going to be two teams that hoist a trophy when it's all done. Everybody else is going to have a feeling somewhat like this. It doesn't make it any easier. This was a tough one because it was crazy. You're down 13, you're up 9. How you feeling?
Not great. I think, unfortunately, those last few minutes stick with you. Very similar to that San Diego State game my first year here. We couldn't stop Trey Kell, and unfortunately, we went man, we went zone, and I couldn't find a way to stop Merrill. It's gonna haunt me for a while.
It was stops down the stretch. I thought it turned on that flagrant, and it was a bizarre play that I'm not sure I still understand. What'd they tell you?
Keita obviously had the foul on the ground. I think at the end of that, they called Vance for a hook and hold, which is a flagrant foul. So I think they felt like he hooked him and tried to bring him with it. It was obviously it was so quick. I don't really know what it is they saw, but you have to have faith that they made the right call.
What happened with Vontae? I noticed Vontae wasn't there at all.
Yeah, basically at the end of the day, just made a decision to send him home today. Just wasn't in the right frame of mind from my perspective for the game.
Is he somebody that's not going to be here next year? Is he coming back? Or because it looked like you guys have just butt heads all season.
I have no idea. I don't know. I'll worry about that probably once we kind of decompress from all this stuff.
Well, when all's said and done, they had a chance. They're down 13. One of their teammates gets sent home against a really good team. They could have packed it in. All of a sudden, you're up 9. The place is rocking. I thought they played their backsides off.
They did. They played really hard. They were the victim of a poor coach tonight. I couldn't find a way to just manage to stop Merrill there late in any which way. The zone I thought would help, but we couldn't get him there either, and I couldn't get it done. The guys played their hearts out.
Well, Jaquan in the first half, I said this morning, I thought if you had a chance, this was going to be a Jaquan game, and I thought offensively and even defensively in the first half, he was terrific.
He was. The last couple weeks of the season, he's really played great basketball. He's been a pretty polarizing character over the time he's been here, and maybe rightfully so, but I really feel like down the stretch, his defense improved, his rebounding improved, his ball movement improved, and he became a really great basketball player for us.
Yesterday you go 14 of 14 at the free throw line. You missed 9 today and lose by 5.
God, I know. I had a bunch of 0 for 2s. It was, I know, killed us. And Keita stepped up and made some big ones. Merrill made big ones. They made their free throws. That stings.
I don't know how you sum up the season. Probably you don't do that right now, but I don't know if you're going to sleep tonight at all. We'll probably talk about the season later, but when you go back, your thoughts are going to be what tonight?
Paul, you should have found a way to stop Sam Merrill.
And coaches in this league have been saying that for the last 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
Appreciate you spending some time with me.
Thanks, man.
All right, Paul, we're out to get. That was an interesting one, huh?
Yeah, just trying to take ownership of it at the very end, and you understand his frustration and his pain and the loss and for the players, and just trying to really focus in on decisions that were made. But it goes both ways. The guys are out there on the court executing, and this is while they lost an 11-point lead over the final 9 minutes. To me, this isn't one where I necessarily just immediately go, oh, boom, Paul Weir, terrible job. It was a little bit of everything for the Lobos. They were switching up defensively. They were trying to do different things, but I think it was more to what Vance Jackson said. Well, he phrased it in the terms of they took their foot off the gas. It was more late they were playing not to lose. And they kind of got caught in that moment. All of a sudden, they found themselves in a tie game. Then they were trailing, and then they hit some big-time shots, whereas they couldn't make those plays to get that lead back when Utah State tied the game.
I should have asked him, and I didn't. What changed offensively in the last 8.5 minutes? Because, I told you this earlier, I thought the ball stuck. I thought the ball stopped moving like it was earlier, and they got a little stagnant offensively. Paul's taking all the blame, and it's not all his, because your point is right. Players go out there and make plays, and I think they tried a lot of different things. They got beat by a guy who was a player of the year in the conference last year, who went for 29 points, who was spectacular. I mean, who was just flat out spectacular last night in Merrill. And Merrill went out and won a game, and that's what great players do. Great players play great in big moments, and that's what that guy did yesterday. It was interesting, the Trey Kell thing, and I had not thought of that, and I can't tell you how long. Trey Kell was a player for San Diego State who in Paul's first year in the conference championship game on Saturday beat New Mexico and kept them out of the NCAA tournament. And I don't know that 24 hours ago, JJ, I would have remembered that game, right? Did you now that I thought about it,
when you look back on it,
yeah. But if you would have asked me yesterday, what stood out from that game, the championship game 2 years ago, I'm not sure something would have just popped into my mind. And now yeah. Obviously, that is still haunting Paul, and Sam Merrill will haunt him obviously for a long time, because this one was emotional, and that was even before they realized Wyoming had beaten Nevada. And I mean, you and I both agree if they held on to that lead, we're probably watching the Lobos play on Saturday.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Lobos, that's the final major what if of the season. They knock off Utah State. I believe that they go out there and handle Wyoming, which I think Utah State's going to do that today as well.
Yeah, I agree. All right, 505-246-0610. We still have sound. I spoke with Corey Manigault after the game, so we still have that to hear. I want to hear your thoughts at 505-246-0610. First, I want to give you a little truth about a men's health clinic in Albuquerque that can make you feel like you again. It's NuMale, guys. NuMale can help you take care of lack of energy, low T, erectile dysfunction. All you got to do is pick up a phone and call them. NuMale has helped thousands of men all over the country feel better for years. NuMale is the leader when it comes to men's health with cutting-edge technology, the latest treatments. NuMale is helping men deal with depression and hair loss, ED. Just pick up the phone and call them. 505-652-1688. 505-652-1688, or go to NuMale, NuMale.com. A little bit more truth for you. Men reach a certain age, low T, ED, lack of energy are all natural. But that doesn't mean you've got to live with it. Certainly nothing to be ashamed of. Call NuMale at 652-1688. The process is comfortable from the phone call to your first visit all the way through the treatment, and the results are real. Do yourself a favor and take care of you. NuMale, 505-652-1688. That's 505-652-1688, or visit NuMale.com and feel better.
The world-famous Laguna Burger is beautifully handcrafted. A burger that's created from certified Angus beef, sinfully cooked to juicy perfection, and garnished with New Mexico's Hatch green chili. Tempt your taste buds with mouth-watering fresh ingredients.
Cut! We're gonna need another Laguna Burger. Try the irresistible, world-famous Laguna Burger. Visit thelagunaburger.com. It's fresh with a kick. Take 32.
Lava Rock Brewing Company, conveniently located on Albuquerque's west side, just south of I-40. You can come on in, enjoy our pizza, pasta, burgers, and more by Matucci's. It's all at Lava Rock. Lava Rock Brewing Company, come on in.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
The LESCOMBES family has been growing and crafting wine in New Mexico since 1981. Formerly known as St. Clair Winery, we're going back to our roots and honoring our founders, Danielle and Hervé LESCOMBES. Today, our D.H. LESCOMBES Winery and Bistro locations continue to deliver the exceptional wine and food experience you've come to expect from the LESCOMBES family. Visit us and enjoy a culmination of our 6th-generation winemaking legacy and unique, perfectly paired foods. D.H. LESCOMBES Winery and Bistro.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous.
Got an email from Brutus that said no one's picking up the phones, Mike. Is it just you're just not talking to him? You saw? Did we get caller ID and you realized it was him and you're not taking his calls?
No calls.
Michael was a little busy.
Got a lot going on.
Michael was a little busy in the first hour. Yeah, just try. We had a little technical difficulties.
Picking up my phone. Yep, that's my phone call.
And Mike, and Brutus wants to get on. So we'll whatever. We'll get
doing
there.
my
505-246-0610. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. I'm in. Where am I? Las Vegas?
Are you still in
Thomas
Vegas?
Mack Center.
You sure?
Yeah, I think so.
Sometimes you wake up, you're not
today.
sure of where you are.
No, I'm today I was sure. I was exactly sure. I sound good today, I think.
You sound fantastic. I am impressed with you this week. I am very proud of the performance that you have put in this week.
Well, we have a relatively new boss, right? Mm-hmm. And he basically told me that he heard that I sound.
Speaking of rumors,
I heard that you sound a little tired on the road or hungover. And I'm like, well, not really. Once I did. Remember the one time I did the show from the I went to the Phoenix Open and I did the show at the hotel room with two guys snoring in the background and I was a little quiet. Yeah, I didn't sound good that day.
Award-winning.
Maybe
radio.
there was. That was award-winning radio, and maybe there was one day I might have sounded a little, a little lacking. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty good award-winning radio. I like to think.
You need to check out this photo we have on ProView now. By the way, you look like Rudy Chavez.
Do I?
You do.
I kind of got the feed up on my phone, but I don't see any photo. Maybe I'm on delay, but I don't see anything.
When was that era of Jeff Siembieda?
Is that a little hair and beard or what?
Yeah.
Is that the one that I did back in like 11? Oh, damn. I do look like Rudy there.
You do.
A little less gray in my beard back in the day. I think I was on with Van Tate that day doing his sports office.
Sports office.
Yeah, that's a good beard though, huh?
It is. You still got the beard game. Beard game's going strong.
Yeah, with the 5-head accelerating at a rapid pace at that point into a 6. So, all right, you want to take Brutus's phone call?
Let's do it.
Hello, Brutus. How are you?
Hello, guys. Jeff, before I start my conversation here, I got to say, Rudy only could wish that he looked as good as you do in that photo. Rudy has never looked that good.
I don't know if that's a compliment to me or a whack at him.
Hey, you know what I thought the big difference in the game was last night? Utah State had somebody that stepped up and took the big shots. Okay, put the team up on his shoulders, and he took the big shots. He made it happen. The Lobos, they faded in that regard. You know, at the end of the game, they were just passing it around. Everybody was hesitant. Any and all the Lobos were hesitant to take the shot. And, you know, when they did take the shot, it was a bad shot. You know, Kurt, the freshman, I think him being off the floor when he picked up that fifth foul, it really hurt the Lobos. I thought he brought a little bit of stability on offense, and then on defense he irritated Utah State there. At least he put up a fight against Merrill.
He did. You had him guarding Merrill, and I thought he did a nice job. You got a freshman guarding at times the last year's Player of the Year, and I thought he did as good a job as you could have expected him to do.
I totally agree with that, and you know I'm excited about him for next year. And you know the one thing that you know I wish Paul Ware would have gave him the green light to just go ahead and shoot the ball. Okay, too many times he was open and he passed the ball to somebody else, and they were playing like hot potato. Okay, the Lobos among themselves, and that hurt them. That hurt them because you know they instead of attacking, they were afraid to lose. You know, Wante Hendricks. I'm hoping that's the end of Hendricks. I'm hoping he's not coming back. You know, Lobos could have used Hendricks last night in his fresh legs. They could have used him, and he might have made a difference. But Paul Ware would have lost all credibility. You know, he would have lost all the accountability and discipline that he had built up over the last 8 days of the season. You know, Paul Ware.
It sounds like that.
Very emotional in his interview. I hope he's learned something. I hope he dismisses all the head cases that he may have on this team and starts fresh. You know, that's his only hope. He'll be back next year. I don't doubt that. Vance Jackson. I'm hoping that there's even a sliver of hope that he will be back for the Lobos and play for his favorite coach of all time. Okay, you know, Jackson with some more work put him together with Matos, and Lobos got an inside game again. Add a transfer in there, and they can come back. It's you know, hope springs eternal once again for Lobo basketball fans.
All right, Brutus. No, that's a pretty good recap. I appreciate the phone call. I don't know that I don't think Vance will be back, and I think Vegchetter did a nice job as much as he could. I don't know what his offensive game is. Honestly, I haven't seen enough of it.
It's
he
to
had a
be
couple
determined.
Good buckets. Yeah.
He was just a defensive presence on the floor, and to that point, I don't know if it was Paul Ware told him not to shoot or if he just wasn't confident.
Felt that way, didn't it?
Yeah,
yeah, it felt that way.
He moved the basketball. Anytime it was in his hand, he got out, cut, and then tried to space the floor.
Yeah. All right, I know you got a sweet deal in there.
We do, Jeff. While you're sitting there in Las Vegas, Nevada this morning, our friends Shane and David, Jersey Mike's in the house. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Oh, it's those guys.
Yes, it's those guys, and they're joining us today.
We are back, guys.
As it is our sweet deal. Jersey Mike's goes live at 9 a.m., our website, but you got to get there before 9 because these things go so fast. For $25, you get yourself a $50 gift certificate to Jersey Mike's.
Get on there, guys.
And not only is it just the great food, and I see the breakfast sandwiches and everything you guys do, March is huge for you guys.
March is really big. March, the month of giving for us. We've partnered up with Make-A-Wish, and you know, we're trying to rack up $50,000 this year, guys. So come and stop by, make a donation, help us out, guys. And also, one of the biggest things is on March 25th is going to be our day of giving. So all 100% of our proceeds are going to go to Make-A-Wish, guys. 100% of our sales, guys. March 25th. Come in. Help the cause.
And, of course, you guys got locations everywhere, plus the new one popping up, West Side. That's my that's
Whoa,
my
West
area.
Side, we're coming.
Coors and Irving, April 15th, guys. Coors and Irving.
Be ready, guys. We're coming fast.
So they're coming fast. These sweet deals are going to go fast. So sportsanimalabq.com, 9 a.m. Get yourself a $50 gift certificate for just $25. And, of course, this is going to be great for the month of March. You're going to be helping give back when you eat at Jersey Mike's. And
Help us give back, guys.
And you need to stack up, especially for those weekends. If you're at the soccer complex,
Exactly.
you need to feed a bunch of people. You need to feed
What about
yourself.
the lacrosse complex?
If you're at the lacrosse complex,
That's
whatever
right.
it may be this time
That's
of year,
right.
it's a great deal to load up on the sub.
Stop by, guys. Stop by.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you
Thank
for the
you.
sandwiches that we're enjoying
Yep,
this
we'll
morning.
see you guys.
We'll see you, Albuquerque.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely love it. Shane and David, Jersey Mike's. It's your sweet deal today. We're enjoying it, Jeff. Well, you might be in Las Vegas. At least we got sandwiches.
I'm hungry, man. And you know, lacrosse kids got to eat sandwiches too. You know, we got the big lacrosse coming up as well. All right, 505-246-0610. Keep the calls coming. I'll get through a bunch of emails for you as well. We're here in Las Vegas, the Mountain West Conference Tournament. Thank you to Hooters, your college hoops headquarters. American Home Furniture and Mattress, they guarantee you'll pay less. Rudy Chavez, attorney at law. Remember, Saul calls Rudy. Airport parking, park for less than half the price of Sunport parking. And 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK. Call attorney Clay Miller at 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK. Still have sound you'll hear from Corey Manigault. Your calls, your emails. We can get in on the Aggies' victory yesterday. You can get in on the Cowboys situation. We're coming up on less and less time. We got about a week to figure this thing out now. Tom Brady, a lot of talk as well. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. All right, we're open for business at 505-246-0610. How's breakfast?
Grubbin, Jersey Mike's sandwiches, solid.
All right, I'm not going to lie. So I just went back, because I'm the only one in the building, I think, here at the Thomas and Mack Center. I went back where the Mountain West staff is, and I just took a Nutri-Grain bar from their little stash.
Sure, they'll
Apple
restock for the stretch
Yeah,
run.
no, there's plenty. There's plenty.
It'll be fine.
And I've taken, I've been
Honor
offered
system.
before. Yeah, take whatever you Yeah.
Just leave $1 on the counter.
I don't feel like I'm stealing necessarily, but, it's kind of, I'm going to go behind the curtain. All right, I'm at the Thomas and Mack Center in Vegas. They'll play semifinals of the Mountain West Conference Tournament today. San Diego State, Boise State will be the 7 o'clock the Mountain Time game. And then Utah State and 11-seeded Wyoming will make a run at it in the late game. And the two winners will play tomorrow for the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. 505-246-0610. 9 o'clock hour, we'll play you some sound from Corey Manigault, conversation I had with Lobo Sr. after the game and after his career ended. 505-246-0610. You can get in. OMG, how presage was this, says Ken. Jeff, OD callers are A students. Who was it who said name Escada was overrated? Was it Lance? Last night he showed he was more, not less, overrated than we thought. You think he's really overrated? I think he's underdeveloped. And again, he was in foul trouble last night. His numbers weren't incredible. He had 8 points and 7 rebounds. JJ, I also wonder if he's totally healthy. He's got those 2 knee braces on. Like to me, there's nothing overrated about him, but I know Lobo fans, because somehow he just didn't completely dominate an undersized team, think that he's overrated.
And it all comes, what lens are you looking at Cada through? If you think, he's supposed to be a lottery pick, he's not. Does he have potential at the next level? Yes. But if you're judging him through the lens of, I thought this guy was supposed to be a first-round NBA draft pick, then I get where you can get that sense. But as a college basketball player, as a center in the Mountain West, he is not overrated.
Yeah, I nothing about him to me is overrated. Ronnie, this is Lobo Hobo. Jeff, how come I can't get this one to come up? Ronnie says, any rumors you've heard around Vegas as to where John Beilein and Tim Miles might end up? Any thoughts if they'll end up coaching Mountain West teams? I'd heard Tim Miles a lot to Wyoming. A lot. And now I'm kind of hearing probably not, that he may hold out another year for a different job. And if Alan Edwards wins tonight, if Wyoming gets does that negate what did they win? 1 game in the regular season? 2 games? What did they win? 2 games?
In the Mountain West play.
Yeah, so does that negate 2-16 or whatever they went in the regular season, 2-18, whatever the number was?
It doesn't erase it, but you're selling something different. Wyoming, I'm sure, is in a similar position. There's probably not a ton of money around just to roll through coaches, and that is right there with San Jose State. Wyoming went on their run, and they had the Chiat years where you're getting some players in there, got some guys going to the next level. But where they're at right now, that is as hard of a job as any in the Mountain West.
It's not an easy one, that's for certain. What if you're the AD at Wyoming, and I don't know. I mean, what if you already had your mind made up that you're making a change, and now you're watching we're watching these guys play like crazy for him. You see a freshman step up yesterday. They beat Steve Alford in Nevada 74-71 after knocking off Colorado State, your arch rivals, the day prior. They're playing in the conference semifinal today. By far playing the best basketball they've played. They were aggressive last night, JJ. They played a pretty good game against Nevada.
I think it puts the AD in a position that if he was on the fence, wasn't sure what they're going to do, not sure what they were able to do.
What if he was sure? What if he was?
If he was sure, I think you still end up doing it, because you say ultimately look at what we were overall. We won 2 games in Mountain West play, and while the guys rallied at the very end, still we're not a good basketball team. But if you're on the fence and you're like, I don't know if we can do it. What are our options going to be financially? All those other factors involved. This does give you the spinability. Say, hey, Allen Edwards, young group, got some young guys that we believe in, and we're all in next year with Allen Edwards. Let's go.
Well, you know how that is, right? I mean, if your fan base is on you, and if you made your decision, and I have no idea what Tom Berman's relationship is with Allen Edwards. I hear Allen Edwards is a great guy. I've only met him a couple of times, but that's a tough one. Does a conference tournament run negate everything that happened during the regular season if those things were negative? I mean,
not if his mind was made up.
Yeah, they were a 2-win team. Yeah. They were a 2-win team. All right, we're going to get to the phones when we get back. 505-246-0610 or 888-922-0610. Hey, did you just get another credit card bill? Maybe you're carrying balances on high-rate store cards from the holidays. You could be saving money with just one payment every month with a balance transfer at Kirtland Federal Credit Union. Who needs multiple cards anyway? Unstuff your wallet and move those high-rate balances to the Independence credit card from Kirtland Federal Credit Union, and your rate could be as low as 2.99% APR in the transferred balance for the rest of 2020. 2.99% APR, but you've got to apply by March 31st to get that great rate. So don't wait on this. You're running out of time. Apply today. Go over to www.kirtlandfcu.org to get started. Apply online 24/7 and start saving right away. It's kirtlandfcu.org to transfer those high-rate balances to the low-rate Independence credit card from Kirtland Federal Credit Union. One card, one great rate from Kirtland Federal Credit Union. Kirtland Federal Credit Union, they are more than military. They are for life. Kirtland Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender, federally insured by the NCUA.
The world-famous Laguna Burger is beautifully handcrafted. A burger that's created from certified Angus beef, sinfully cooked to juicy perfection, and garnished with New Mexico's Hatch green chili. Tempt your taste buds with mouth-watering fresh ingredients.
Cut! We're gonna need another Laguna Burger. Try the irresistible, world-famous Laguna Burger. Visit thelagunaburger.com. It's fresh with a kick. Take 32.
Lava Rock Brewing Company, conveniently located on Albuquerque's west side, just south of I-40. You can come on in, enjoy our pizza, pasta, burgers, and more by Matucci's. It's all at Lava Rock. Lava Rock Brewing Company, come on in.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rawlins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
The LESCOMBES family has been growing and crafting wine in New Mexico since 1981. Formerly known as St. Clair Winery, we're going back to our roots and honoring our founders, Danielle and Hervé Lescombes. Today, our DH Lescombes Winery and Bistro locations continue to deliver the exceptional wine and food experience you've come to expect from the Lescombes family. Visit us and enjoy a culmination of our 6th-generation winemaking legacy and unique, perfectly paired foods. DH Lescombes Winery and Bistro.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Local Union 412. Find a career with benefits, not just a job, at UA Local 412 Training Center. We are looking for plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC tech apprentices and journeymen. Call 505-256-9257. Local Union 412.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path.
So we'll have the conference semifinals for you on the Sports Animal this evening. 7 o'clock, San Diego State will play Boise State, 1-5 matchup. And then at following that, 30 minutes after that, a 2-11 matchup, Utah State and Wyoming. Here from the Thomas and Mack Center, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck back at Radio Ranch. I was on the sports bar yesterday with Mike Trujillo and Eric Strauss. Tella said, what a bar yesterday. Must be sweeps month when the bar has special guest hosts making a rare appearance outside his house, Eric Strauss, and a very special guest, executive director of the New Mexico Bowl. Yeah, they had a huge show yesterday. I guess Carlisle was on. I saw Carlisle here. How about that?
Yeah, he was at the game. He was
he was here?
with doing his gig right? Or pretending to do it so he could sit courtside.
Yeah, he worked hard. But then Portnoy needed water. At halftime, he didn't have any water. And he asked, would you get me one? I'm like, yeah. But isn't that Carlisle's job? Like, what the hell is he doing? Isn't that what he's here for, is to get you water and turn the knobs? But I don't know. I guess he didn't want to move. So I was happy to oblige. I helped out the.
It's very nice of you.
Yeah, I'm a team player that way. Yeah, that's what I'm about. All right, 505-246-0610. Let's go to it. Edward, good morning, sir. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. How you living?
Gentlemen, how's the Vegas life, Jeff? Have you hit the Caesars Forum shops yet?
No, just Cheesecake Factory, and what's the other one I go to?
Hooters Hotel and Cheesecake Factory. Have you hit the Caesars Forum shops yet, or not yet?
I was at Caesars for dinner the other night, but I didn't go to the Forum shops.
You're a big baller.
Good dinner, though.
You're on the big baller list. I was driving back into Albuquerque last night, and I couldn't get the game on the radio, but of course my son and all his friends were on a group text talking about the game, and it's fascinating when you have objective people's perspectives of the game, and it's just quite entertaining, quite frankly. But it made me reminisce, and since I've been living in Albuquerque, I would say since the late 80s, it made me go through a chronological kind of list of how things have gone, and just reminiscing. I don't remember the 60s, right? That was the heyday, it seems like, for this region of basketball with Bob King, and then New Mexico State challenging Lou Alcindor in the Final Four, and then UTEP or Texas Western winning the NCAA championship. It seemed that the region was really flourishing. The 70s, obviously, they had the controversy. They had that great team with Marvin Johnson and Marvin Automatic and Michael Cooper, and they got upset in the tournament. And then the 80s were kind of a blur. Gary Colson, I don't know how well he did. And then you entered in Dave Bliss, which I thought was the heyday of UNM basketball, with the 4 straight first-round wins, but they couldn't make the Sweet 16. But there was a lot of hope and energy behind the program during that entire era. And then after Colson, it kind of was a mixed bag, and I think the program kind of settled back and didn't do very well over a period of time. And then you entered in, what's his name, Steve Alford. And Steve Alford came in and had a great 6-year run, got 2 number 3 seeds. And I remember the conversation in the city, and again, I'm just a sidebar fan, an objective fan who just kind of listens in, not too high or too low. And it was like, hey, are we going to get a top 3? They got 2 number 3 seeds in the NCAA tournament. Made the tournament pretty consistently. It's got a couple of first-round wins, and there was so much energy around, hey, are we going to get to the Sweet 16? Are we going to get to the Elite 8? Mm-hmm. And then he exited, and since then, it's really turned into, hey, are we an NCAA tournament team? That's been the prevalent conversation. And then, are we going to get in for sure? And then that's degraded to, hey, is it 3 days in Vegas? And now, quite frankly, it's turned into 4 days in Vegas.
4. Yep.
4 days in Vegas. And I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just telling you, as a sidebar fan who just pays attention from the sideline, that's the degradation of this program over the years. And I think it can be turned around. But you know what, guys? You got to be better. You just got to be better. And when you said 2 days ago, Jeff, I was listening to you, and you'd be like, what'd be awesome is if they beat, if they get to the semis and they play Steve Alford's team, which they got beat last night, in the semifinals. And the first thing that came to my mind was they're just going to choke it away, right? They'll win the first round game probably, and then they'll just choke it away. And not even watching the game or listening to the game last night, it sounds exactly
2 minutes.
Now, I'm not Water the Rocks guy, which is JJ's profound statement, which is awesome. I just pay attention. I just look at the data presented in front of me, and there's a steep, gradual degradation of this program, and I could see why diehard fans would be frustrated. And I don't have a solution. I'm just telling you what I see in front of me, and I root for the team, and I hope they do well. But I just think they're going to have to make some drastic changes to change things around. And I'm not even saying that entails firing the coach. I'm just saying you have to take fundamental changes, big step changes. I know they started off okay this year. They had some injuries and some off-court issues. But there's a reason for all that, right? And we talked at length about it over the last few months around dysfunction in the organization and who's at the helm. But it's unfortunate. And I do wish good things with this program. I just wanted to share my thoughts and get your thoughts. But enjoy your time out there. JJ, have a good day today on the radio, and guys have a great day.
Enjoy the weekend. See you. All right. Boy, that's a lot there. That was a history lesson. There was a lot there. Do they need to drastically change things? I mean, they need. It's been, 5-6 years now? When was the last time they were in the NCAA tournament? 6 years? Yeah, right? It was. Craig was here for 4, right? So the last 3 years of Craig, and then the first 3, it's been 7 years. Huh. This was going to be the year. And it ends in a tough way. Aggies have a good chance to go back after a 16-0 run in the WAC. We'll get back to the phones, talk about that as well. Corey Manigault, Lobos senior.
30.
Still got another hour from Las Vegas. Want to hear from you. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive at 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. What could have been. Probably a little happier of a Friday in Logan, Utah, and Laramie, Wyoming, than it is in Albuquerque, New Mexico, or Reno, Nevada. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, Micah, and Josh. I'm in Vegas at the Thomas & Mack Center, where they'll wrap up the Mountain West Conference Tournament tomorrow. The Aggies will be in town next week for the WAC tournament. They'll be the number 1 seed after an 83-50 win down at the Pan Am Center yesterday over Cal Baptist. Glad you're with us this morning. 505-246-0610 is how you get in. 888-922-0610. Emails come in, Jeff or JJ at 610knml.com. JJ Jerome held through all that break. Just going to go take him, and now he's gone.
Hey, he's gone.
And you see how I was teeing him up with the Aggie talk, too?
I heard it.
I try to get it done. Mm-hmm. All right. Lobo fan is feeling what this morning? Is it more angry, hurt, confused? What's overriding sentiment or emotion for Lobo fan?
Well, I think it's percentages of all the above when it comes to figuring out how they feel. I think there's the frustration with, why now? Like why
last year?
It's like, why the last week of the season all of a sudden did you find something? Because even with all the stuff that went on, I think both of us, as we talked about this basketball team, believe they're talented enough to compete. The expectations have to change when you lose your point guard and center, which really the team was built around the first half of the season. Yes, but there still were talented enough players to find a way to get by. And it was just the last week of the season you finally started to see that togetherness, that buy-in from this team, at least to do something together on the basketball court with all the other stuff that was going on. And you understand how it can wear on you. And you saw the raw emotions last night. It started to come out a little bit even after the Utah State game. From the players, Paul Ware himself just trying to fall on the sword for everyone last night after the game. And these are real things that it's easy to just kind of sit back and say, well, why weren't you playing like that from the beginning? But there's a lot of people with a lot of different emotions involved in this scenario that you're trying to navigate. And this is going to be a year that you look back on, and from off the court to on the court, that everyone on this roster, whether it's a player, it's the coaching staff, there should be plenty of learning moments where you reflect and go, wow, we did this wrong, but this is how we responded, etc. And you put like a manual together of how to deal with ish when it hits the fan.
I'd love to read the tell-all if someone wants to write the book. I'd read this one. With all the junk that went on from everybody's perspective, I think this would be, I don't even know what you would call this season. Because, I don't know. The season was what could have been, right? I mean, even just sitting here after last night, gosh, you had an 11-point lead with 9.5 minutes to go. Wyoming would have been next. I mean, what could have been? Realistically, could be sitting here looking at them playing San Diego State or Boise State for the NCAA tournament bid on Saturday. It's crazy. John, good morning. You're on the Quado Care. How are you, John?
I'd like to reiterate with that, guys. It's been a slow bleed, and I have been with the program since those days, the 70s, and I've watched it go up and down. But it's just such a it's March mildness in Albuquerque, and it's so frustrating. And I'm just up to the point now where I really just wait to the news to see the score. I don't follow anymore, and I think there's a lot of fans like that. And I've noticed, the pit is such an aging crowd. When you go there, I went to 2 games this year, and I'm in my 50s, and I might have been, I might have been below the average age in there. I think what's happening, I think it's becoming endemic now with the younger set, that the Lobo basketball is not something to put on your to-do list anymore, and I don't know what we're going to do to get our mojo back. I would like to see at some point in time, when things evolve or revolve, or whatever you want to say, I'd like to see us go back to finding someone that's got some some solid New Mexico roots, and maybe someday maybe Ramon Martinez or somebody like that, kind of like what we're doing with the football program right now, where we're kind of like picking ourselves up from our own bootstraps and trying to repair the thing from with our own people. And I've got a real strong hope and feeling for the football team, and I would like to see that bred into the basketball team at some point in time. So that's my take on this. I'm going to let Paul Weir do his thing, but I don't have a lot of hope. I just kind of want to start over with our own guys at some point in time in this process. Anyway, gentlemen, thank you very much. I appreciate and like your show.
Thank you very much. It's interesting, huh?
Mm-hmm. And that's the situation that's going on with Danny Gonzalez. It's like that's kind of like a once in a decade type of moment. Like you can't keep going back and throwing, hey, it's our own guy. Hope like that's kind of like, all right, we feel we've hit rock bottom. Do we have a good candidate that can
Daniel Ferris
be
for head
that
coach?
Guy? Now I understand that Louisville basketball has fallen back to their average. They're a 500 basketball team. They overall, but I didn't necessarily feel like they're at that point where it's kind of like, oh, now we have to go the whole different route of local to drum up support. Because just yesterday, Jeff, you're in Las Vegas. You were there. You feel, at least in Vegas, there was, even with everything that's gone on, there was a lot of energy for this Louisville basketball team.
No, there was. And he's not wrong that it feels like the fan base is aging. Yeah. He's not wrong about the mediocrity. Again, the last time they were in the NCAA tournament was 7 seasons ago, correct? He's not wrong about any of that stuff, about when the heyday was, and is the younger fan or the younger people just say, yeah, whatever about Louisville basketball? I warned about this years ago. I fear this in baseball, and I've seen it happening. The game times have an effect. The longtime people, and Jeffrey I think is on the line, right? And we got to go to Jeffrey. But the longtime people who grew up with Louisville basketball, they came and said, I used to go with my family. And I with these 8:30 starts, 8 o'clock Tuesday starts, I wonder how many kids are growing up like that anymore. Jeffrey, good morning. How you doing?
Yeah, I've been talking about the gentrification of Louisville the fan base for 10 years now. And even though there were a great number of fans, relatively speaking, in Vegas, I'd venture to say they're all 55 plus. So, yes, there's excitement, but it's still that very core 5,000 person, maybe 8,000 person fan base, 55 plus. But I think Edward really summarized the incremental degradation of Louisville basketball over the last 10, 15, 20 years. And I think it relates to one dynamic, and that's expectation. 10, 15 years ago, the expectation was getting into the NCAA tournament with the prize threshold being the Sweet 16. Now it's maybe we'll be competitive in the tournament. And, I think JJ, his assessment of Wyoming can be applied directly to Louisville basketball. Didn't he say, JJ, 5 minutes ago, that Wyoming rallied late, but basically didn't have a very good season? That's Louisville basketball in a nutshell.
I agree.
For me, the salient point for me is what is now the expectation for the program, because it is definitely incrementally de-evolved from we're going to be an NCAA tournament team 3 out of 5 years to we're going to be competitive and win our conference 3 out of 5 years to we're going to win the tournament 3 out of 5 years to maybe we can win 2 games and be in the quarterfinal or semifinal game. It just degraded, and it's sad. For me, it's sad only because I've woefully admitted I have this crazy, emotional attachment to Louisville basketball. But the question that I'd like you to reflect on, if you don't mind, is what is the expectation that the fan base now has for Paul Weir and his program? There's no secret I'm not a Paul Weir fan, but what is the expectation next year? And what is Nunez's expectation? because I think that's the salient point. And if the expectation is we're just going to be competitive, then I think that says a lot about where the program is.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair after, that'll be Paul's fourth year. I think it's fair to say, no, our expectation is to be in the postseason, to be in the NCAA tournament, and compete for a league championship. Jeffrey, always good to hear from you. Thank you. What does that give us? One line open, Micah? We got one line open at 505-246-0610. Want to hear from you. I got to take this break. Come back to the Thomas and Mack Center. Thank you to the 5 great conference tournament sponsors who make sure we're here for you each and every year. And this year it's Rudy Chavez, attorney-in-law. Remember, Saul calls Rudy. Airport parking, you can park for less than half the price of Sunport parking. Hooters, your college hoops headquarters. American Home Furniture and Mattress, they guarantee you'll pay less. And 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK. Call attorney Clay Miller at 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal.
The world-famous Laguna Burger is beautifully handcrafted. A burger that's created from certified Angus beef, sinfully cooked to juicy perfection, and garnished with New Mexico's Hatch green chili. Tempt your taste buds with mouth-watering fresh ingredients.
Cut! We're gonna need another Laguna Burger. Try the irresistible, world-famous Laguna Burger. Visit thelagunaburger.com. It's fresh with a kick. Take 32.
Lava Rock Brewing Company, conveniently located on Albuquerque's west side, just south of I-40. You can come on in, enjoy our pizza, pasta, burgers, and more by Matucci's. It's all at Lava Rock. Lava Rock Brewing Company, come on in.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rawlins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
The LESCOMBES family has been growing and crafting wine in New Mexico since 1981. Formerly known as St. Clair Winery, we're going back to our roots and honoring our founders, Danielle and Hervé Lescombe. Today, our D.H. Lescombe Winery and Bistro locations continue to deliver the exceptional wine and food experience you've come to expect from the Lescombe family. Visit us and enjoy a culmination of our 6th-generation winemaking legacy and unique, perfectly paired foods. D.H. Lescombe Winery and Bistro.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow him.
All right, got 2 lines open for you. Got emails coming in, Jeff at 610knml.com, JJ at 610knml.com. Carl said Steve Alford and Craig Neal are regular season coaches, Jeff. Lobo fans should be very used to that feeling. That was Nevada's Harvard. Who was their Jacques Cousteau? Well, there was that Quane Marble from Wyoming, right? I'm in Vegas. Thomas and Mack Center. JJ's back in Albuquerque. Phone number is 246-0610. Rod says, JJ, how much did Hendricks' latest stunt cost you and I? The state of New Mexico taxpayers, Jefferson. As you know, last-second airline tickets are not cheap. It probably cost $500 to put Vontae on that plane yesterday, and they're $500 because they probably had to send a grad student home with him. So I took that out of actually probably what they did. Does Southwest have a no change change policy? So they had a ticket for him to go home whenever, and so they probably just changed his ticket. So it probably didn't cost you that much.
Well, I'm sorry that you're upset, and hopefully you can submit a request and get a official answer on that, and someone will definitely be scolded for you.
There you go. Travis, good morning. Thanks for holding. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. What's up, Travis?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, so in the midst of everything happening around the Lobo basketball program, the several dollars that were spent to send Vontae Hendricks home early, that's definitely
that's the big one.
Yeah. Whew, man. Yeah, let's grab those pitchforks and torches. Look, Edward is not known for his brevity. He is a man who can never say anything quickly. Well, but his histrionics lesson is absurd, and folks calling after him, talking about the good point that he made. Let's be real, he didn't make a point. He talked to you about the history of the Lobo basketball program in his eyes, and frankly, a lot of these fans need to take the rose-colored glasses off. It doesn't matter who the coach is, Bob King, Fran Pachilla, Dave Bliss, insert name of, Lobo's best coach here. The results have all been the same. No Sweet 16 appearance. So, you have these people calling in talking about the expectations have lowered, it's just this sort of, this arc of mediocrity and this slow degradation. No, it's not. The expectations from the fans are the same. That's why whenever the Lobos lose a game in the pit, the show lights up, the line lights up with people calling for coaches' heads. Because the expectations are always the same. And the expectation is that the Lobos will be competitive, if not win the Mountain West Conference regular season, win the Mountain West Conference tournament, and make it to the NCAA tournament. Those expectations from the fans are the same. So, and it doesn't matter whether or not the Lobos lose to San Diego State or lose to, Cal State Bakersfield. It doesn't matter. Any of those losses elicits the same reaction from the fan base. So, also, when you listen to some of these fans call, the things that frustrate me the most is listening to some of these fans. And if you listen to them, you would think that the Lobos of the 70s and the 80s and the 90s were a national powerhouse.
Well,
so
I've said that a lot. but they were entertaining, and they won at a conference level at a regular basis. And I think to that point, they're not wrong, right? They haven't been to the NCAA tournament now in 7 years, and they competed on a regular basis for league championships.
And they should be competitive. And Lobo fans, I've been a Lobo fan my entire life. I am like so many other Lobo fans. I want them to be competitive, and I want them to win each and every single game. But in the midst of all of that historical success, you have had pockets where the Lobos have not been very successful. But what's frustrating is listening to these litany, these hordes of Lobo fans who call in and start calling for coaches' heads, when they're only in their third season and they happen to lose a game. We know what this season was. And I agree with you. I'd love to read the tell-all because there is so much that happened behind the scenes. You had two starting players who were big pieces of this team and what this team did well, who didn't finish the season. A player who came in mid-season who played some pretty decent defense, who brought a lot of spark and energy to this team. He didn't finish the season. So there's a lot that happened behind the scenes. And for fans who can't recognize the early season success, at one point I think they were 13-2, 13-3. I think they only lost 4 games in the pit all season, despite the fact that they were down. Fans who can't see some of that success, some of the pieces are there, and then are sitting here talking about how we need to get rid of this coach. It's ridiculous. And I think Jeff Grammer's question last night was absurd. The framing of it was ridiculous. It is one thing to ask two student athletes on their way out the door what is next for them in their professional careers. It's one thing to ask them that, but to frame it to Coach Weir as, well, I asked those other two guys, now I got to ask you, that is nothing but red meat for the fans who want to see this coach and this program not succeed. Thanks, guys.
All right, Travis. I appreciate it. There was a point in there somewhere, JJ, I really wanted to expound on. But I think, the fans' frustration is, to Jeffrey's point, all those years they were competing for a league championship. And you had 4 guys. If you take Tavian Percy, who is out with injury, you got 4 guys who played significant minutes didn't finish the season.
You did. Now, to the previous points, Travis and Jeffrey, I'm still more towards Travis's side in terms of, while is there an aging fan base? Sure. But I don't think I'm at that point where all of a sudden people don't care. Because honestly, it's such a small snapshot, but you're getting thousands of impressions on social media after a game. To his point, listen to our show after a loss versus a win. There is still a huge level of investment in this program. You just look over the last few minutes when someone actually brought up I'm done with it, it's dying, boom, the phone's exploded. People care. There's always in business, in the economic side of it, questions about who your consumer is going to be. What is the age of your consumer? Who's purchasing your tickets? That's fair, but I do not think that Lobo basketball has fallen to the point of, it was so much better back in the day. To Travis's point, the expectations are compete in the Mountain West. Put yourself in Utah State's position to where you can be close beyond that bubble. Maybe you did enough, and then, hey, go to Las Vegas and do something. I still think that expectation is there for Lobo basketball. While they have not met that on the floor, I don't think that has changed. I don't think the expectations have changed. The results aren't there, but I don't believe the expectations have fallen off that much.
Mike, you're up next on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Hello, Mike. Good morning.
Yes.
Mike.
I just thought I'd throw this stuff out there. Well, the guy brought up, like the football team is getting a little bit of new start. I was thinking maybe somebody like Kenny Thomas. He just got his degree. I'm not maybe down the road. I don't know if he wants to coach, but I think he could recruit in this area. He's been in the NBA. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
He's never coached. Michael Cooper used to want to coach here, but they always said no because they used the reason he didn't have his degree.
Yeah. Well, I was just bothered by he finally started playing good. He got away from that weird zone, full court zone. That was weird. Then the second year of Weir's tenure. I'd like, also Caldwell. I would like to. That guy's very talented. I don't know if how much of a head case he is, but he's very good. I'd like to see him back.
Yeah. All right, Mike, appreciate you. I don't know what's going to happen with JJ. My guess would be he's not coming back. The full court pressure got him back in the game last night. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, they played multiple defenses.
No, I think Paul did a good job of mixing it up yesterday, and I mean they got beat by a guy who was Player of the Year in the league last year, who was spectacular down the stretch. All right, we'll go back to the phones when we get back. Also, when we come back, you'll hear a conversation I had with Corey Manigault after the game, because I still want you to hear that as well. Hey, how's your car looking? Hopefully it's looking good. If not, you can get it there. If it is, you can keep it there. New Mexico is not friendly on your vehicle's paint with the rock chips and gravel roads and careless drivers. That's why you need to call On the Spot Auto Detailing. On the Spot Auto Detailing can protect your vehicle's paint from a regular wax job all the way to a ceramic coating, which lasts up to 5 years if you got a lot invested in your vehicle. Make sure you protect it. And you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to take your car anywhere. They will come to you when it's convenient, where it's convenient for you. That means you could be in the office working, and On the Spot Auto Detailing is out in the parking lot detailing your car thoroughly, inside, outside, stains, pet hair, spills, all of it's gone. Big car washes, you wait in line. Hundreds of cars will go through them every day, and unless they keep those brushes clean, they may scratch your paint, and they're done within about 7 minutes. I don't know how good 7 minutes can be, but not as good as On the Spot Auto Detailing. They'll spend an hour or more to get the job done right. Call On the Spot Auto Detailing at 505-859-2859, 859-2859, or go to otsdetailing.com.
The Sports Bar with Michael and
The world-famous Laguna Burger is beautifully handcrafted. A burger that's created from certified Angus beef, sinfully cooked to juicy perfection, and garnished with New Mexico's Hatch green chili. Tempt your taste buds with mouth-watering fresh ingredients.
Cut! We're gonna need another Laguna Burger. Try the irresistible, world-famous Laguna Burger. Visit thelagunaburger.com. It's fresh with a kick. Take 32.
Lava Rock Brewing Company, conveniently located on Albuquerque's west side, just south of I-40. You can come on in, enjoy our pizza, pasta, burgers, and more by Matucci's. It's all at Lava Rock. Lava Rock Brewing Company. Come on in.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
right, we got another half hour for you from Vegas. Semifinals tonight in the Mountain West Conference Tournament. San Diego State, Boise State, Utah State, and Wyoming. WAC tournament next week here in Vegas. Aggies will be the 1 seed after beating Cal Baptist last night, 83-50 at the Pan Am Center, and running the table in the WAC this year. Opening drive, Jeff, JJ, Micah, Josh produced for you on ProView Networks. Watch the show there, ProViewNetworks.com. Chris, thanks for holding. Good morning. You are on the opening drive.
So, yeah, I mean, I come from the point of view that our expectations should be realistic, and I don't think it's much to ask that Lobo basketball be at a point where, they're competing for a Mountain West championship, and they get into the tournament more often than not. That's reasonable. Expecting to get the Final Fours and Sweet 16s every year, that shouldn't be our expectation. And we're just not there right now. The Lobos lost the game. They could easily have won, but they lost because when there became a pushback from Utah when they started having their issues and they went into that zone, Lobos didn't have an answer because they have bad habits. That when things aren't working well, they take bad shots, and they start giving up things that they shouldn't. And, here's the truth of the matter. This is a team that started playing better right at the end of the year after a really bad run, and, you're just not going to have the habits against a team that's really been playing pretty well the second half of their season. It's apples and oranges, and we had a lot of really, I thought, bad choices, bad shots, and there's a lot of stuff that's been going on with this team all year, and so it was chaos. Paul's going to be back next year, I assume. Probably should be back, and he's going to have to turn this around pretty quickly. Lobo fans aren't going to be okay with a team that does, the first half of the year they do terrible, and then they start playing a little better, and then they just make a run in the tournament and don't get anywhere. They're going to have to, get better relatively quickly, be competitive, and then continue to get better all season so that at the end of the year they have a decent seed, they have a chance to run. And that's the expectation the Lobo basketball fans should have. It's not all that complicated, and I don't think it's unreasonable.
Nope. I think it's fair. Right on, Chris. Appreciate you calling. 505-246-0610. JJ, that's probably right. They expect to be competitive every year, go to the tournament regularly, and be a player in the postseason.
Yeah, and be in the conversation. I think you look at Utah State, team that's on the bubble, second seed, potentially. They were the preseason favorites, but be a team in that mix, and the Lobos were a team that was picked third. You expected them to have that type of season this year, and a lot of stuff derailed it that we're going to consistently go over up until next season. But I don't think the expectations are too far off. People just want to see this team compete in conference, be on the bubble, not just have to go to Vegas to win to get in. They want this team to be in that conversation like a Utah State, knowing it doesn't all have to be 4 days in Las Vegas.
Yeah, not having before the calendar turns into a new year, just already saying it comes down to that week in Vegas. And we were there probably, in early December, right? November, after the UTEP loss, and then it's probably about where it was. JD, good morning. How you living?
Morning, fellas. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. So a couple of things, and this is more about the level of expectation for the program. So, number one, in 1973-74, the Lobos did make the Sweet 16. Field was 32. We beat Idaho in the first round, so we did make the Sweet 16. So for fans to say that we've never made it is a misnomer. We have made it. We've not made it in the modern era. Now, we are the fifth winningest program in the NCAA to not make the Sweet 16. So that's where the expectation level comes from. What you're seeing is the back end of all that winning in the past 7 years. And I think that decline is what people say we have unreasonable expectations. The four schools that are ahead of us, one of them technically doesn't count because most of their wins came when they were Division II. The other three schools are Idaho State, Montana, and I think it's North Dakota.
Yeah, you're the best program. Lobos are the best program
in NCAA, not to make the modern-day Sweet 16. So that's where our expectation level comes from. We're used to winning a lot here.
Yep.
And if that's what our goal is and our expectation is, we've got to get somebody in there to make that happen. But to say that we have unreasonable expectations, when you look at the history of the program, I don't think that's the case at all. I think we have exceptionally... I think we have very good
you have fair expectations.
I think when you win as much as we do, especially at home,
I got it.
Then that's what we need to do.
All right, JD. Appreciate it. 505-246-0610. JJ, I've said this a lot of times. I think the Lobos are the best program to never make the Sweet 16. Now, they may be the fifth winningest, but I think they're better programs in Montana and Idaho State, don't you?
I agree.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go back to the phones, but I want you to hear this. This is Corey Manigault after the game. Corey had a really, really nice final game of his college career yesterday. He went for 18 points and what do you have, 6 rebounds. I thought played well, especially in the second half. Corey Manigault after the game yesterday. Corey Manigault played an incredible final game of your college career. You went out there and left everything out there. It's going to always hurt unless you're hoisting a trophy at the end of the season. Everybody but two teams, I guess, are going to end the season when it hurts. How you feeling?
I'm just lost for words, honestly. But my guys' fault. I'm never mad at them. I love my guys, love my coach. I just feel like we just couldn't get stops down the stretch. But other than that, we was good. We came out, we played hard, and that was that.
You get down 13 early. Crazy day. You see one of your teammates be sent home. Everything that's gone on with this. And then you come all the way back and you're up by 9. And the feeling, just the emotion, it looked like on your faces that you felt it. Did anything happen, do you think, in particular that swayed it?
We just played harder. They came out punches in the mouth, and we just came back in the second half, tried to punch them in the mouth. But down the stretch, we just got to stay solid down the stretch and get stops. That was the only thing. But I ain't even mad at my guys. I ain't mad at my coach. We fought, so.
How was it to play against Neemias Queta? He's going to be in the NBA. I know it's a challenge, but it looks like a challenge you embrace.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a challenge. He's a big guy. He's 7 foot. He got everything. He got all the tools. So I like how he playing. I like how he move and things like that. But, he's still another person, so we got to go out there and play.
Right, lastly, sum up your career as a Lobo. It ends, I don't know how much thought you've given it.
I ain't really think about it yet, but it's all love. The fans, our coaches, my teammates, it's all love. All love, man. I don't think I'll ever see nothing like that again, but it's all love. I love them too.
Congratulations on a good career, Corey. Thanks.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Interesting, huh? A lot of emotion. Bottom line, he said just didn't get stops.
Yep, you saw that down the stretch, the plays that Utah State was able to make. Sam Merrill became the dude to finish that contest. And you had Brito and Bean making a couple clutch baskets in there as well. And guys tried. Van Jackson took some shots, didn't hit it, wasn't able to have that rhythm that he had. You had 2 moments. You had Van Jackson, Zane Martin stepping up to tie the game, but still that floor was tilted in favor of Utah State over the final 7 minutes.
All right, Freddie still there? Let's go to Freddie. Freddie, you're on the Quan's Auto Care hotline.
Yes.
Good morning, Freddie.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, man. Just wanted to say something about the Lobos. I've had season tickets for the last couple of years, and I listen to you guys a lot, too. I do agree with a lot of your takes, man. Like with effort and stuff, you can't coach effort. But as far as it goes, man, I don't think Paul Weir's the right guy. I know some people want to give him another chance, but I think we need to cut our losses with him. Maybe go in a different direction, recruiting some different players, I don't know, I just think, I think it starts with the head coach. And yes, you can't coach effort, and there's a lot of games and a lot of plays where the Lobo players don't seem to put in good effort, but then there's a lot of instances where where it just seems to be, whether it's time mismanagement or not utilizing timeouts or sticking to a full court press for 40 minutes, and not getting any results out of it. I think we just kind of need a redo. All around.
Thanks, Freddie. I don't think they're changing head coaches in this offseason. I can't see that. JJ, I think you're on the same page with that, right?
Yeah, I don't see them making a move right now, especially given the fact you just fired your head football coach, and that does play a factor in it, not just strictly performance, but financially. And I don't think Paul Weir, or even if you want to talk about Mike Bradbury, which we have this week, are going to be coaching anywhere else other than New Mexico next season.
All right, take the final break. We'll come back. I've got to get through as many emails as we can. We got a lot of them. And get some final thoughts. Still have time for a phone call at 505-246-0610. The opening drive comes to you from Las Vegas at the Thomas & Mack Center, as well as downtown Albuquerque on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The world-famous Laguna Burger is beautifully handcrafted. A burger that's created from certified Angus beef, sinfully cooked to juicy perfection, and garnished with New Mexico's Hatch green chili. Tempt your taste buds with mouth-watering fresh ingredients.
Cut! We're gonna need another Laguna Burger. Try the irresistible world-famous Laguna Burger. Visit thelagunaburger.com. It's fresh with a kick. Take 32.
Lava Rock Brewing Company, conveniently located on Albuquerque's west side, just south of I-40. You can come on in, enjoy our pizza, pasta, burgers, and more by Matucci's. It's all at Lava Rock. Lava Rock Brewing Company, come on in.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
The LESCOMBES family has been growing and crafting wine in New Mexico since 1981. Formerly known as St. Clair Winery, we're going back to our roots and honoring our founders, Danielle and Hervé Lescombe. Today, our DH Lescombe Winery and Bistro locations continue to deliver the exceptional wine and food experience you've come to expect from the Lescombe family. Visit us and enjoy a culmination of our 6th-generation winemaking legacy and unique, perfectly paired foods. DH Lescombe Winery and Bistro.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities.
All right, Jason says, good morning, OD. Good job, good effort. After the Aggies built a lead in the first half, I decided to flip over and watch Play in Paul and Team All Talk versus the Blue Aggies. The gym teacher deserves credit. Maybe he rolled up the yoga mats and actually coached his team on how to play defense. However, Sam Merrill looked at home in the Thomas and Mack and Merrill Court at Spectrum South and was a stone-cold assassin. The U-Tags patted the Lobos on the head, acknowledged their nice little story of redemption, cute nicknames given by 505 Media, and ripped out their opponents' and fans' base hearts, leaving them all talk, doing what it does best, talk and whine. Remember, we heard about this team, talented 1 through 9, quote, wait until Hendricks is eligible, or, quote, this team has sandpaper to it, or this is a mature team that can handle adversity, or we work hard in the offseason for the last 10 minutes of the game, and lastly, the team will contend for a postseason tournament. I remember hearing and asking last summer, would we be sitting here in March and all these statements being disproven, and well, all talk. It's good to be an Aggie, he says, 16-0, sincerely, Jason. P.S. Nice to see Alford being Alford. Wyoming equals Harvard. And Marble equals Rivard. That was from Jason. 505-246-0610. What do you got, JJ? Is it Marty? All right, let's go to Marty. Good morning, Marty. You're on the opening drive.
Well, I guess this will be my last call for basketball season, but I'd like to conclude with this. I'd be happy with 20 wins and an NIT. I know all the naysayers want NCAA and everything else. But 2 things I highly recommend for Paul Weir: hire a defensive coach and a shooting coach. You can't always rely on the 3, but specifically, just get a coach who can teach the mechanics, fundamentals of always shooting consistent, good shots in the paint, off the glass, etc., etc. And one thing you cannot control is Murphy's Law. What happens, when it happens, how it happens, is uncontrollable. You can't control Murphy's Law, and that's what happened to the Lobo season this year. Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. See you, Marty. Harry, you're up next on the opening drive. Good morning.
All I got to say is I'm really proud of Lobos for the way they played yesterday. I know they came up with a loss, but to see the effort that they put in, I mean, I think they tried as best they could. And I'd just like to know where all these people were when we were 15-3. You know, everybody's complaining now, but, I mean, you know, if those guys wouldn't have screwed up, things would have been a lot different. These phone calls wouldn't be taking place right now.
All right, man. Thank you. JJ, we talk about it all the time. Fan bases, certainly this one, I think most of them, are much more vocal after losses, right?
That is what happens. It affects you differently than wins.
This is, I know we'll wrap it up more next week. Is it more frustrating because they lost the way if they'd have got blown out of the building yesterday? If they're down, they were down 13 early, and let's say they end up losing the game by 15. Never make that run. We're not up by 11 points with 9.5 minutes to go. Would it be? In what way would it be different? And I thought about this last night. You always have this conversation. Would you rather? You don't want to lose, but would you rather lose by 1? Would you rather lose by 15? Would you rather lose the way they lost, feeling we should have won, could have won, or never been in the game.
I'm always going to be on the side of
this side
in the game.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't get any easier. Just you have 20 more minutes if you're getting blown out at halftime to start wrapping your head around what happened. To me, the frustration about this year has nothing to do with the way they lost last night. It has everything to do with the previous call, the point of this team was 15-3 mid-year. You expected them to compete, and then all heck broke loose.
See, I think it does have something to do with last night, because last night showed that it almost makes you say, why did we have to endure that 2 months of misery, right?
Yeah, there's that element to it.
Yeah, I think that's where the Lobo fan base is in a large respect. They watched a team last night go toe-to-toe, and they feel like they should have beat a team that's right on the bubble of the NCAA tournament. Now we're not giving Utah State any credit here. Like, Utah State played with their two best players in foul trouble and played most of the night without their point guard. Like, they went through some adversity too, right? They played. Cato was in foul trouble from the get-go, and Merrill sat out a chunk of that second half when the Lobos went on that run. Sam Merrill wasn't on the floor, and Abel Porter didn't play. So give them some credit too, but for our intents and purposes, that's where I think Lobo fan is so frustrated, is they watched over the last 3 games a team that battled and looked gritty and tough, and that, as Jason just alluded to, the sandpaper to them that they expected to see all year, and they're asking, why the hell didn't we see that team for the last 2 months?
Oh, absolutely. And what you saw last night in those final moments is why Utah State is in the position they are in, and why the Lobos faltered so much down the stretch for 2 months, couldn't figure out who they were, continued to butt heads on and off the court, and the last week looked like a completely different basketball team. So, yeah, the story is much bigger than just trying to simplify it in how one game necessarily ended. But what we saw this week, I guess, weighs even more on the minds of where was that just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Why couldn't you find that form a little bit quicker? What changed this week that got guys' attentions? I know you brought up Van Shank, and you feel maybe he rose to the occasion better, not just as someone on the basketball court, but taking that ownership.
3 minutes.
Yeah, it's a frustrating one, and yeah, you'd rather be competitive than get blown out of the building. But I'm just going to tell you that's just talking to the people that were here and just having the interaction with the team last night. I think there's that frustration too. Just, where was it? What could it have been? And man, just you feel like a waste. And I don't know that I've ever seen a coach break down like that at a press conference. Did you watch the post game with Paul at the podium?
I saw minute. I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw 5 minutes.
The beginning of it,
kind of clips of it last night.
Yeah, it was something else. All right, one last thank you to the tournament sponsors who made sure that we were here for you, covering this and getting you some content that hopefully you enjoyed. Rudy Chavez, attorney at law. Remember, Saul calls Rudy. Airport parking, park for less than half the price of Sunport parking. Hooters, your college hoops headquarters. American Home Furniture and Mattress, we guarantee you'll pay less. And 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK. Call attorney Clay Miller at 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK. Thank you to all of them for making sure that this happens for you. All right, what do you think happens tonight? You think the two favorites win tonight, and you got 1 and 2 playing tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we're going to see San Diego State, Utah State for the Mountain West title on Saturday. One thing I wanted to toss out to you watching that Aztec Air Force game yesterday. San Diego State, they were 17-point favorites. They knew when this game was going to be played. But if you're the 1 seed, would you rather play the early game or a game later in the day?
I think you'd rather play later. Now, I don't know why they do that, and maybe they figure, I always think TV-wise, so did they think the 1-8 game would be the least competitive and they put it early? But it's typically your best team, right? The advantage would be for the 1 because they know when they're playing, and the team that they're playing against played the day before, so you increase that that advantage. I don't know. I've been listening to Trujillo ask me yesterday. San Diego State's not playing as well. Look, it's not like they were blowing people out. They won by double digits a lot.
1 minute.
A lot of games where they were trailing at halftime.
Yeah, they played tight games. It's just something that I was sitting there watching. I'm like, if you're the 1 seed, would you just rather have a more normal day to open the tournament.
I think you would
than the
too.
early game.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, Micah, good work, and thank you for all your work this week. I hope it worked out well.
It did.
JJ,
Good job,
enjoy the
Jeff.
weekend.
Thank you
Yeah,
for everything.
Yeah, that's why for what? Making it, showing up.
The interviews, the post game, the insight. It was great stuff.
Yeah, I hope it worked out. I hope it was good, and it was great being here.
30.
Thank you to everybody who was on the show today. Jim Rome show is next. Sports Bar's after that. No, Dan Patrick's after that. Then the Sports Bar. Then we got the Mountain West semifinals for you tonight on the Sports Animal. I'll be back in studio on Monday. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Enjoy the weekend, all right?
You too.
15.
Great, safe weekend, JJ. I'll see you next week. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. Have a great weekend.